So if you're thinking about doing monk mode to get ahead in life, then you're doing life wrong. You see, a lot of people, and there's tons of YouTube videos about it, are doing what we call monk mode, where you follow a certain set of protocols over a prolonged period of time. And by doing that, you're going to become a better person, you're going to be more productive, and you're going to make more money and build your business. Iman Gadzhi made it super, super popular. I don't know if he got it from someone else. I know Sam Ovens back in the day had something called monk-like discipline in one of his training programs. So maybe it was kind of like a follow-on from that. But basically, you set a sort of protocol. So for example, for a lot of people, it is like, following a certain diet, eating clean foods. Some people will do like meditation every single day, no alcohol. People will do like no jerking off, stuff like that. Like it's not like 75 hard where everyone follows the same thing. You can kind of like create it for yourself. But I think it creates a false belief amongst people that in order to be successful, they need to do these things. And if you don't do these things, then you can't get ahead. Now, just because it works for some people or people did it and then went to become successful, it doesn't mean you have to have those things. There's plenty of people that have made millions of dollars, probably billions of dollars, who drank alcohol all the time, did drugs, never fucking meditated, and did all the wrong things except from the right things. So what I mean by that is all of that shit around your life, it can make stuff easier. But if you're not doing the work, we're not even just doing the work, if you're not working on the right things and working smart and doing the right work, then none of it fucking matters. And it also makes me laugh a little bit because some people are like, oh, dude, I'm going into fucking monk mode, man. I'm like, okay, cool. What are you doing? He's like, I'm going to eat clean for 30 days and I'm going to work out every day. And I'm like, good. You should be fucking doing that anyway. That's not monk mode. That's just being a fucking adult. You know what I mean? Like people it shouldn't be, I'm going to do monk mode for 30 days and then I'm going to go back and do all this shit that doesn't help me. Like you should train well. You should eat well. You should read and try and learn and grow in your day-to-day life, not just for a 30-day period. Because if you do want to get ahead in life, you need to adopt all of those habits anyway. You don't just do them for 30 days and as a reward, then you go back to fucking jerking off every second. Like it shouldn't be two separate things. You just, instead of just going hardcore and changing all these habits to the extreme for 30 days, just try and embed them into your everyday life. And I've done monk mode before. So when was it? What are we in now? 22, probably just over 2 years ago, I did monk mode, so I fell into the trap of doing it for 30 days and there wasn't anything dramatically that changed for me, honestly. I did obviously I'm pretty good with diet and stuff anyway in training, but, trained X amount a week, read X amount of pages a day. I think it was, obviously no alcohol, didn't have any cheat meals. It was a bit like 75 hard, to be honest. And then I did no FAP as well, for, 30 days. I hear all these guys as well with this, all this fat problem, porn problem. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing with your life? I've never had a problem with that, but I just did it anyway, just to see what the benefits would be. And it was okay. It was fine. Again, I'm probably a fairly disciplined person anyway. I don't drink that much. I always train at the gym. I'm probably lucky that I went and started establishing healthy habits when I was 15, when I started going to the gym and I started dieting way before I got into business. So that type of stuff has never been difficult for me to adopt. Anyway, I did it for 30 days and yeah, I felt pretty good. Nothing crazy, but I felt pretty productive. I felt pretty healthy because, I hadn't eaten any bad food for 30 days. And I suppose the following month afterwards and the month after that, business really did pick up. And a lot of that was down to the work that I did in that 30-day period. But I wouldn't say that like the only reason was, I could have done that same amount of work and still, done some social events during those 30 days or, cheated on the protocol like a little bit. So I think like the main message is like, you don't have to go to the extreme in order to get like a decent result in business. There's plenty of people that don't do stuff optimally, but they just do the important things, which is, do the right work at that time to build the business. And then there's also like another problem as well, where you get these people and they think that, and I fell into this trap a little bit as well earlier on, a few years before that, where they feel like they can't go out and have any form of social life before they're successful. You see on Twitter, and people are like, they probably only just post it because it's like fucking engagement bait, but it's like, lock yourself away for like 6 months. Don't go out on any social events. Don't do anything but just work for 6 months. You'll come out the other side like a different person. And again, dude, you're only building a 5 to 10K a month marketing agency. You don't need to go and fucking lock yourself away. Like, it's not actually that hard. And sometimes it can make the results worse. And again, I'm actually speaking about this from experience. So for about 1 year, early on in my journey, after I'd like lost some money, failed business, blah, 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 I was kind of like stuck. And I remember I was watching like a coaching call from one of the communities that I was a part of. And the guy on there, he was like, oh yeah, to make it, I spent 12 months locked away, blah, blah, blah. He did the whole locked himself away. And he said he got this amazing result at the end. So I was like, oh shit, that's what I got to do. So I remember at the time, like I excluded myself from all of my friends. I actually moved. I was living in Australia at the time and I actually moved to a different city by myself to be away from everyone. So I could just live by myself and work on my stuff. And then later, further on than that, I completely didn't have, for like a 12-month period, I didn't have any social life. I didn't go out, didn't really hang with friends, just pretty much worked for 12 months. Didn't go on any dates or anything like that. And if I didn't go on any dates, then you can probably guess what else I didn't do for a 12-month period. I think I was like 25, 26 at the time. And at the end of that 12 months, like I hadn't gained any crazy wealth or had any extraordinary results. Why? Because I wasn't working on the right thing. I was still working on the wrong business. I probably wasn't putting in enough work. I wasn't putting myself out there enough. Like all of that shit mattered more than whether I didn't go out on a Saturday night and drank alcohol. Like I wasn't working on the right shit. I wasn't doing the hard work. So none of it fucking matters unless you're actually working on the right things. And the people who have a less than optimal lifestyle, but are working on the right business in the right vehicle and they're doing the hard things to grow that business will have far more success than the fucking nerd and the geek like I was who locks himself away for 12 months but isn't doing the right things. So you can do all the fucking monk mode, all the different protocols that you want, but that is no substitute for, working hard and doing the right things. And some of you will be like, oh yeah, well the point of monk mode is that it makes me more productive so I can, put more hours in, blah, blah, blah. Again, you can't, if you're like doing an extreme where you're doing all these extreme things, then it's not sustainable to you as a person. Otherwise, you wouldn't have to do something called monk mode to make those changes. And therefore, if you're relying on those things for you to be productive, to get the work done, then what's going to fucking happen after the 30 days or the 60 days? You're going to go back into your old habits because you've not integrated it into your lifestyle where now it's a part of your identity. You've just done this extreme challenge. And then after 30, 60 days, you're probably going to fall back into your old habits. And if you're telling me that you can't be productive with your old habits, then you're fucked. It doesn't matter because you're not going to be able to sustain the monk mode protocol for life because it's too extreme. What you want to do is learn how you can take those habits that you want to implement during monk mode, but see how you can just integrate and implement them into your life 75, 80, 90% of the time. So those habits become part of your identity and who you are. So then on a day-to-day basis, when you wake up and start work, you are that person. You don't have to think, oh, I'm in monk mode. No, you just wake up and think, oh, I'm Sam. And Sam is someone who fucking works out all the time. He eats well. He gets up early. He fucking likes learning and reading, or whatever the protocols you want to do. You wake up and you are that person. You don't wake up and think, oh, I'm going to pretend to be that person for 60 days. And that's like a much more sustainable way, because you don't have to fucking lock yourself away from friends and family. You can still have a social life. I still enjoy hanging with friends that aren't business minded just because I like them as people. I'm not just friends with people who are into business, because that's lame. And people who say that are usually just people that don't have any friends. So, and they just use that as an excuse to be like, oh, I'm not friends with normie people. Well, no, they don't want to be friends with you most likely because you're a dickhead. But anyway, besides the point, it allows you to have a life and build a business and become someone that you are proud of at the same time, because you are someone who lives by these habits that are a part of you, part of your identity. You're happy with that person, you're proud of that person, but then also you still get to enjoy other things in life, like eating unhealthy food now and again, going out on a night out now and again, and all that sort of stuff. Like some of the, like you'll see, like the most successful people, well, maybe not like the ultra billionaires, right? Who are kind of just, 1 in a billion. But most of the really successful millionaires, people like that, they actually do have a relatively balanced life. They're not fucking locking themselves in monk mode. No, they just worked on a good opportunity. They were in the right vehicle and they worked hard over a prolonged period of time. So you don't need monk mode. You don't need to lock yourself away for 12 months. You just need to learn how to install healthy habits into your life and work on the right things over a long enough time horizon, and you will get the success that you want. That's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.